Hello everyone. Today our topic is how to read single line JSON files in PySpark. So single line JSON means each JSON object is written on a single line, and single line JSON is equal to one JSON object per line and is append friendly. So that means first we'll insert one JSON object, then we will insert, that means we will append one more JSON object. So this we can also call as JSONL. So JSONL means JSON lines. So we'll see the how JSON single line looks. So if you see in this, so this is single line JSON. So here I have only one object. And if you see starting and ending, it is with the flower bracket. And inside that we have key value pairs. So this will call as one object, JSON object. So the entire JSON object, it will be in single line. So this is one line. So if I show another example that has multiple lines, so from here to here, it is one JSON object. So the entire JSON object, it is in single line. So it is not like multi-line. Multi-line means each key will be in line by line. So this is one object, and second object starting from here. So flower bracket to flower bracket, this is second object, and between object and object, you don't see any commas separated by any commas. So, and third object, it is from here to here, and this is fourth object, and this is fifth object, and this is sixth object, and this is seventh object. So total 7 JSON objects we have in this single line dot JSON. So single line means, so each JSON object will be in single line only. It is not divided like multi-line. Okay, so this is about single line JSON. And so in this, we have total 7 objects. So this is one thing. And one more is single line JSON object. So JSON object means we'll be having only one object. So that means like this. So like this. So single JSON object. So in earlier case, we have 7 objects like this, line by line, but here we have only one object. So both the things we'll see one by one how to read. Suppose the same thing if I show in Notepad. So here, since it is size is limited, it's showing like this. Suppose if I copy this one to Notepad, and if I paste here, see here. So this is one JSON object. It is in single line, and this is second JSON object. It is in single line. If you see uh, all JSON individual objects, it is in separate lines. So when we'll call multi-line is, I will show you one example how it looks multi-line. So multi-line, if you see here, so starting and ending with square bracket will be there, and inside that each object, each JSON object, it will be like this. Each key value pair, it will be in separate line. So this is multi-line JSON. So that we'll discuss later in separate video. So now this video is limited to single line JSON and single line JSON object. So if I open separately in Notepad, so generally it will be like this. Or otherwise, if I take this example, only this object will be there, single line. But whenever you open in Databricks, so it will open like this. So starting and ending is floor bracket. So that means this is one JSON object. And here it will show you like 4 items. If you expand this, so inside that we'll be having 4 items. So this is one key value pair, that is one item. This is second item, this is third and fourth. So Here it looks like multi-line. So since we have JSON object, but actually this is single line. So whenever you look in Databricks, it shows like that, but actually this is like this, single line. So now I will try to read both these files. So one is with a single object, one more is 7 objects. So now if I come back again, so that is this one, single line JSON equal to one JSON object per line. So that means one JSON object per line means this one. So in this we have total 7 JSON objects, and each JSON object, it will be in single line and there is no comma in between. Okay, so next we'll see the syntax. So the syntax is like data frame reader dot JSON, and by default we'll be having these many options. So whenever you read uh, data JSON file, so we'll be having this many options. But generally, what options we'll use is path. So generally, path we'll use. If it is single line, we'll pass only path. If it is a multi-line JSON file, then we'll mention this one, multi-line equal to true. And if you're providing schema, then we'll mention schema equal to schema, and that schema will define separately. So generally, these three parameters we'll use. So remaining things, remaining all these parameters, maximum we don't use. So whenever we have requirement, that time we will use. Okay, so this is about syntax. So here, the same syntax, we can see here how many different ways we can write to read single line JSON file. So first I'm defining one path variable. So in double quotes, I'm mentioning this is the path. So JSON, read JSON, and read JSON single line, and after that path. That means file name. So this is my path of the JSON file. So this is the JSON file we want to read here. Single line underscore JSON underscore object. And method one is, since it is single line JSON, spark.read.json, and path we need to mention here inside. So we can mention like this, we can define one variable here, path, and we can define path here. That is one way. And instead of that, the same thing with the double quote, this path directly we can pass here. So either of the way, it is fine. So finally, spark.read.json and mentioning the path. So since it is single line JSON, so multi-line true is not required. But if at all we want to define, so we want to mention as false. So for single line JSON, no need to define this multi-line true. So by default, the option will be like option multi-line equal to false. So that is method 4. So explicit formatting configuration. So that means explicitly specifying single line reading. So that is like spark.read dot format is JSON and dot option multi-line false. So for single line JSON, no need to mention as true, and dot load. So inside that we'll mention the path. So here thing is, do not use multi-line equal to true for single line JSON. So for single line JSONs, no need to mention this one. So not needed for single line JSON. So that is this one, option multi-line equal to true. So this is not required for single line JSON. So if at all you want to define, then you mention like this, dot option multi-line as false. So in second method, so first method is spark.read dot JSON path. So this is one way. One more is spark.read, writing in this format like dot format. So mentioning inside JSON, and dot load, defining the path. So this either of the way you can follow. So either you can write it like spark.read.json or otherwise spark.read.format.json. So maximum people use this one because so in later if at all you want to change the uh, format to from JSON to Avro or JSON to CSV or Parquet, so this method will be comfortable. So you can follow either of the thing. So and one more thing for single line JSON, you can define like this also, like spark.read dot format is JSON and in option single line as true. But this also is not compulsory, mandatory, this option. So if at all you can, if you want, you can define this. But actually these two methods is not required actually. So you can follow either of these two methods. If at all you're interested, you can use this one. So no issue. So next, the basic way default options we'll see. So in default options, that means here I'm not going to define the schema. So Spark itself, it auto infers the schema from JSON file. So JSON file generally automatically parses the data types. So in default way, first we'll see single line JSON object. So this works without any options. So no need for single line true. So that means these two options not required. That is the meaning. So now, as I shown here, single line JSON object means, so this is single line and this JSON object, it is in single line and that is single object, single JSON object. So that's why I mentioned single line JSON object. So JSON, it is in single line and it is one object. So first, I'm reading this particular file, this particular file by using this method. So first, I'm defining the path for this single line JSON object, and that path I'm passing here. So I'm using first method spark.read.json, and I'm defining this path. And if I try to display this one, so this is the value I have. And if I try to print this particular object, so this is my schema. So inside that, whatever I have, this one country, column name is country2, that is string type, and input underscore timestamp, that is long type, and source is string type, user is string type. So if I see this one, read JSON, single line JSON object, single line JSON object. So if I expand this, so these are all the columns I have. And if you observe one more thing, in JSON, there is no guarantee that we will get in same order. But whenever you read in CSV file, so this is first column, second column, third column, fourth column. So you will get in same order. But in JSON files, so there is no guarantee that it will come in same order. So here first source is there, input timestamp, country2, user. But if you see here, country2, it is coming. So country2 actually it is in third column. And next input timestamp, source user, input timestamp, source user. So whenever using JSON file, so it will come its own order. So this is about reading single line JSON object. Only one object we are reading here. So next what I will do, next I want to show by using using this third method, like by using option single line equal to true. So whatever this one, without defining single line equal to true and defining single line equal to true, both will give you the same result. Okay, so next multiline equal to false. This is fourth method. So spark.read format is JSON and option multiline as false. So this also will give you same result. Okay, so all four methods will give same result. So among these, so for single line JSON, simply use this one. Okay, so next, this is about single line JSON object. So next we'll go for JSON objects. So in second file, we have multiple JSON objects, right? So this one. So this we'll see how to read this. So total we have 7 JSON objects. So this we'll see here. So JSON records one JSON object per line. One JSON object per line. So that means, so here this is one JSON object. So it is in single line. Suppose if you see here, this one. So this is first JSON object. It is in single line. And this is second JSON object that is in single line. And this is third JSON object. It is in single line and so on. So next, so this is the default format. So PySpark expects a JSON lines, JSONL means JSON lines format, where every single line is an independent, complete JSON. So independent and complete JSON. So JSON lines also called as NDJSON. So ND means new line delimited JSON stores one valid JSON object per line. So this one, either we can call as this one JSONL. JSONL means JSON lines, or otherwise NDJSON. So NDJSON means new line delimited JSON. So that means each and every object it is in new line. So that is new line delimited JSON. So and each JSON object it is in single line. So this is the example, whatever I shown here. So that is this one. So this first JSON object is it is in single line, and second JSON object in single line, third JSON object it is in single line. And if you observe, there is no comma separated. So that is this one, new line delimited JSON. And here each line is a complete JSON object and there is no closing array. So in multi-line JSON, starting and ending, you will see these arrays. So, but in single line JSON, you won't see that one. And objects are not separated by commas. See here, we don't have commas here. So these two rules will come for multi-line JSON, not for single line JSON. So next here, so this is the path for this one, single line JSON records. So which we have 7 JSON objects, this one, this file. And I'm using spark.read.json and this path I'm providing here. So if I read this one, so how many records we are getting? 4 records, single line JSON records, single line JSON records. So if I open this one, we'll see how many records we have. So here we have 4 records. Okay, so these 4 records it are displaying here. See here, 4 records it displaying, and here I used print schema. So here is showing the schema for this. And next, single line JSON. So this is about 10 lines. So this will see single line 01. So in single line 01, if you see here, see total 10 objects we have. See from here to here one object and here to here one object. So like this, we have total 10 objects we have. And how this JSON file reads is, inside each JSON object, we have key value pairs. So first key is the column name and value is the value for that particular column. And if you see in each and every JSON, so column names would be same. So here product number is there. So here also product number is there. And in third column, product number. In all JSON objects, you'll see same number. At the same time, zip code. So you will see in all JSON objects, you will see. So whatever we have keys, all these keys will be in all JSON objects. Only difference is these values will get changed. So here 101 is there, here 102 is there, here 103 is there, and here 104 is there, and so on up to 110. And at the same time, zip code also different values will be there. Here 56001, and here this value, and here this value, and so on at the end this value. At the same time, description also, if you see self capital sales zone, and if you see here main sales hub for South India. So this how read the JSON file. So first column is this one, product number. Under this column, it will print all these values 1012 to 110. So 10 rows it will print. And for zip code column, it will print all these values one by one. So that's how it will read. And if I come here, same thing you will see here. And one more thing, the same order we are not getting here. So what is the first column over there? So second column is zip code. Second column is zip code visa. And first column is description is the last column visa. And first column, what is the first column? I forgot. First column is product number. Second column is zip code. So it not coming in same order. So JSON files, it will come in different order. So product number, where is the product number? Here. So as per JSON file, this product number is the first column, but here it is coming somewhere else. And second column is a zip code, it coming at the end. And as per JSON, description is the last column, but it coming somewhere here. Okay, so there is no guarantee that it will come in same order of columns. So since I printed print schema, so for each and every column, we'll get the schema here. So next, and by looking this JSON, we can come to know that which is the data type. So for all the columns, it is double quoted. So here all the columns, it is double quoted. Key value, key, yeah, key, you can say key name. And for values, if it is integer, so we are directly writing like this 101. So here also, if it is long type like this, and here it is a double type is there, and here also double type, and here integer is there, here long type is there, and here it is long type. And wherever we have string, so that places only we are giving double quote for value. Okay, so now, so based on that, if you see city, so city where it coming, so city, here country is there, city. Okay, so this city, if you see here, here it is string is there. So Spark, it will read as the city as the string column. And if you see every place, so city is string. So that's how it will detect the data type. So next, as of now, we'll see how to read single file. So suppose in real time, how it will be, all JSON files will be at one folder. So in one folder in real time, we'll create one date folder. First is year, then month, then date. So every day data will be accumulated on today's date. So if it is today means in today's folder, today's data will get added. For tomorrow means for tomorrow, that particular folder data will get added. So depends on source, the number of files will come. So if so, for some of the sources, we will get single file. For some of the sources, we'll get multiple files. So whenever we have in our source folder multiple files, so you assume that this is the path up to here in this folder. Every day files getting added. So what will happen in today's file, that means today's folder. So you assume that we have 3 JSON files. And if you see here, JSON. So this is read JSON, single line, same schema. So you assume that today this is my, with the today's date, this is the folder. And today I received 3 JSON files. So while running the pipelines, all JSON files, it will pick up at a time and it will process. So those things how to read here. So directory reading. So if you have multiple single line JSON files stored in one folder, pass the directory path instead of a file name to load them all into single data frame simultaneously. So there are multiple ways, multiple methods. So this is first method. So actually this is not recommended. Why? Because since I have only 3 files, so we can write manually like this. But if you are getting daily number of files, then every time difficult to write like this. Part 1, part 2, part 3 like this. But for knowing the method, I am showing this. So I defined one variable path1. So path1 I defined for first JSON file, and in path2 I defined for second JSON, and path3 we defined for third JSON. And now I have 3 variables. So here what I'm doing, spark.read format is JSON, and here I'm mentioning option multiline equal to true and dot JSON. And inside JSON, generally what we'll write? Generally, we'll write the path. This whole path we'll write, or otherwise simply we'll mention path 1. Only path 1 will mention. Since now we have 3 different files, so I'm passing all the variable names inside list. So starting and ending as square bracket. So in the list, I'm passing all these 3 variables, and I'm trying to display this and printing schema. So here what I will do, I will try to remove this one because since it is single line JSON, it should work. Okay, so since it is single line JSON, so multi-line equal to true is not required actually. So I will reformat this one. Okay. So now we'll see how it read all 3 files together at a time. So here, first we'll check the input in single line underscore 01, how many records are there. So if I go and see here, single line JSON, see here, I have total how many, it starting from 100 and ending at 110. So total 10 JSON objects I have. If I go to single line JSON2, it's starting at 111 and ending at 121. So if you see here from serial number 100 to 110, so this belongs to first JSON. This belongs to first JSON, and 111 to 121, it is belong to second JSON. And let me open third JSON also. So it's starting at 122 and it ending at 132. So if I see here from 122 to 132. So that means total I have 33 records. So each JSON we have 11 records. Okay, so that's how we are getting 33 records. And so first it reading first JSON 11 records, then next 11 records related to second JSON file that is appending here, and third JSON related 11 records it appending here. Okay, so total 33 records you are getting, and this is the schema for that. Next, one more method is, this is the method recommended in real time. So here there are two ways we can pass here. So defining the path up to here. So up to this level will directly define the path. So what will happen? It will come to this file. So what are the files we have? It will, all the JSON files it will pick up. Okay. So that is one method. So suppose since we have only JSON files, so we don't have any problem. We can give like this. So directly the root path. In case, assume that we'll have different formats of path. So maybe including other formats also. So suppose you assume that your root folder has files of different this one. So this is log file, and this is three text files, and three JSON files, and two CSV files. Suppose if you mention path like this, then what it does, it try to read these files also, other format files also. So to avoid that, what we can do, best method is, on after root path, we can give star JSON. So star JSON means, if by any chance, if we have mixed files like this, what will happen? It will select, it will pick only .json files. So it will pick only these three JSON files. So that is the meaning of this star JSON. So in real time, we'll use this method. This is the recommended method. So here spark.read.json, and this path 4 I'm giving, and I'm displaying here, and I'm printing the schema here. Okay, so we know that inside that we have, in this particular path, we have three JSON files, and each JSON file, it has 11 records. So first JSON has 11 records. Second JSON has next 11 records. So next JSON, we have another 11 records, and third JSON, we have remaining 11 records. So total 33 records, and this is the schema. Okay, so this is about reading the full directory. So next is, as of methods, what we saw is, we are not defined the schema. So Spark itself, it recognizes the schema by using JSON file data. And real time, what is the recommended method is explicitly defining the schema. This is the best approach. Sometimes what happens while reading this data type, so the sometimes getting chances of detecting wrong data type. So to avoid that, for production, if you keep in mind for production deployment, so we need to define the explicit schema. So what is the main purpose? So the time took for reading the file, it is faster when you compared with Infer schema. So mainly it prevents a data type mismatch or schema inference issues. So why it read fast is, if you mention uh, default inference method, what it has to do is, it has to go each and every JSON file, and it has to go scan all the data, all JSON objects. It has to read, scan it, and it has to understand the data types. It has to Spark itself by own. It has to detect the data type. So it will take time to do that. So instead of that, if you define schema, then what will happen? It won't go into the file. It won't scan the data to detect the type. So one job we are reducing. So uh, so what will happen? The time it will reduce. So how I'm defining schema is by using StructType. So before that, I'm importing the required functions like StructType, StructField. So first we'll define StructType, and inside that we'll be having field. Each field is one struct field. And in each struct field, we'll define column, data type, and whether it is true or false. So we know that in each single JSON, if I go here, JSON, single line, same schema. If I open this one, so here we know that column names. So serial name, first name, last name. So serial number, maybe I'm referring different JSON. So single line 01. Okay, so not this file. So if I go JSON, read JSON, single line 01. So here product number, zip code type, these things coming. So product number. So first column is product number. So that is integer type. Here that is integer type. Next zip code, that also integer type. Zip code integer type. Next zip code type. Zip code type is string. City is string. Zip code type is string. City is string. So like this, I will define data types for all the columns. So now I defined my schema, and this final schema I'm passing here. So earlier what we are doing, we are simply writing like spark.read.json, and inside JSON we are defining the path. So additionally here I'm adding schema. So inside schema I'm defining this schema. So this schema I'm passing here. So we'll get this result, and if at all want, we can print this schema also. So it will get print here schema. So next one is single line JSON with null values. So single line JSON with null values. So single line JSON with null values. So first we'll see how the JSON file looks. Volumes. If you see the path JSON read underscore JSON single line. So single line underscore null. So we'll see here read JSON single line, read JSON single line, and this is single line null. So if you see here, so earlier what we have here, we have some integer number, but here what we have now, null value. And if you see some other places, it will be empty string will be there. Maybe if I go through the data, so here zip code type is null is there, and so latitude null is there, and region type null is there, and so we can see some places empty string also. So here city null is there. Okay, so there are some places we can see null values. So I think I don't have any empty string, I think. So in this document, I don't have empty string. So I have only nulls, sales region null, and here city null. Okay, so these all the null values, we'll see how it reads. So I defined this path, and using same method. And if I try to run this one, maybe what I can do is this one, I will rearrange this one. So schema. Okay. So display and print schema. And you can see schema here at the end, this one. And if you look the data, so wherever I show null values, see here, we are getting null values. Okay. So at the same time, if my data has any empty strings here, suppose instead of this one, if I remove this one from my input to data, then what will happen? So I will get empty string here. I will get empty string here. So that you can try yourself. I will attach this JSON file. Okay, so this is about single line JSON file. Okay, so these are all the topics about single line JSON, how to read this single line JSON files. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.